Testing the audio from my hands-free mic in the car. By Paul, Mike 0 Whiskey November Uniform, or 26 Charlie Tango 730 if you catch me on 11 metres and PMR 446. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Paul, Mike 0 Whiskey November Uniform, or 26 Charlie Tango 730 if you catch me on 11 metres and PMR 446. Now straighten that microphone out a bit so you can actually hear me a bit better. That'll be good. There we go. Right, so I'm in the car and got the net on there. So I'm going to do a blast down the A1 and back up again to see how this microphone above my head, I think you can see it there, will actually be affected by road noise. So let's see how we fare. And let's hope I don't run out of fuel because I haven't got a lot of fuel left. So that would be good. So don't need lights or anything. Let's crack on, I think.
No Steve, no Paul. I had a message from Paul actually. I don't know. Flag that for the end of it. I'd offer to give you a hand on the Wednesday with a lift, but I won't know where I'm going to be until I get to it for having a stabbing on Tuesday evening. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the weather. I have closed the windows, apart from bedroom windows still open.
Well, just wait for a chance to break in, I suppose.
7.5 degrees in here at the moment, so it's quite pleasant. Over the weekend, it's dropped down to around 14, which is
Mackery up.
bottom of my comfort zone. So if I'm doing things, it's not a problem. If I'm just sat there, I notice it.
That's alright, I don't mind if it waffles a bit.
This morning's net, I actually did a power test on the LiFePro battery. See the voltage drop between standby and
This camera's crooked.
and then I did an AB.
My Oppo phone, by the way, in case anyone's interested.
Listened to Paul's hands-free mic the other night. Last night, I think it was last night. And the condenser mic.
Go, that's better. And by the way, the microphone I'm using for the video recording is that one, not the one above my head. So just
there's a volume gain on the actual hands-free mic that may need to be turned down. So Paul, no, you know, if you know that, if you don't know.
Well, I can't get to the bloody thing.
Put that in memory for the time in the future. And having an automatic, yeah, makes a big difference. I've driven a few manuals now since I switched to primarily automatic, so I got the
Heater up.
I think yes, drive anything. But,
Mobile flutter.
about Darling and back, somewhere halfway back from Darling, which normally makes me happy leaving Darling. So in a manual, we're halfway back from Darling, my looks like no.
Yeah, Max waffling a bit, so it's going to be a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not making any notes, right, so there we go. Jayypn, M0I, hoping you pick up something else.
Mike 0 Whiskey November Uniform Stroke Mobile.
God, there's a pile up now. Paul and Steve, you know, I'm sorry I'm not stopping much longer. But hand it round to Paul if you want to. Then hand it round to Steve and Steve to Mac. And I'll listen to Montreal, but I'm sorry I can't stop out here much longer. Out to you, Paul. M0WNUG8YPN.
And I don't know if you heard my previous over to Dave there. I did an AB mic test this morning on the 11 AM net. And there is a difference between the hands-free and the mic that comes with the 400 radio. And it reminded me that there's a gain control on the hands-free mic that you might want to turn down a touch. As well as the gain control that we found within the radio. But the gain control on the microphone itself is variable as opposed to set in 5 stages as it is inside the radio setting system. So hopefully that helps. And maybe you'll let us know on the next round how you heard things on the SDR the other night. But certainly the radio was structured. So that's on now. Good evening, Steve. Good to hear you. So you've come off the phone now? 73 Dave, I think that seems to make you fine or whatever. I hope you're feeling better after you've done whatever you decide to do this evening to find some relief from ankle, leg and etc. GA1PO, group M0, RIE.
GA1PO, I'm sorry I'm going really good at it tonight. As for Paul, yeah, there's a little bit of road noise as Mike says, but I think if you turn the actual gain control down on the mic itself, it would clear that actually. It wouldn't just say picking you up in the background. It does sound like he's peaking a little bit when he's speaking into it, but that's probably the position it is. But I would say if you, I must admit, I backed my mobile mic, I ended up backing off when I first put it in, so I think they're all the same, probably a bit over punchy. Anyway, round to you, Paul. I'll listen to the end of the round. I'm going. Sorry, it just ain't working tonight. Round to you, Paul. 0WNU in the stroke mobile in the group G8YPN.
Whoever repeated to do that now. Yeah, Mike 0, Whiskey November uniform, stroke mobile returning. Yeah, all copied, everyone. Yeah, I haven't thought to have a look at the gain control actually on the mic itself. Just means I just have to take the control box off. Just going to have a bump there. Just take the control box out of the where I've got the microphone, just so I can actually turn the potentiometer with a screwdriver, because it's one of those types. It's not actually a knob on the outside of the control box, which is a bit of a pain. So, yeah, yeah. Just like I said, I'm just going through Catterick at the moment, so I'm just interested to see how bad the road noise is going to be when, say, at motorway speed, which is why I'm just going to go down and back up the A1 just to see how that's going to fare. So anyway, if you're going now, Dave, I'll wish you 7-3 and catch you the next time. And with that, I'll pass it round to Steve, M6JNZ, M0WNU, stroke M in the group.
Yeah, Mike, yeah, yeah, it sounds okay, Paul, but you can't hear the rumble in the background a bit. Yeah, I think just turn it down slightly, you'll be alright, as I said, I'm not expert.
That's alright.
But yeah, you can hear what you're saying, so that's one of the main things. I've got a lot to love, I'm afraid. I've been on such. Yeah, the throat, dropping up to his house, that's all I can say. Yeah, anyway, I do feel a bit better. Going for the jab tomorrow, which I'm not really looking forward to, but hey ho. 1:30, and Julie's got hers at 22, but the trouble is, she's up there late Birmingham and mine in Darlington. And the daughter had hers on Wednesday in the hospital, so there's no great big side effects to it all. I'm sort of a right monkey out, I must admit. Okay, back over to you then, Max.
Right, just approaching the A1.
73 days. Paul, I'll hold on a bit longer until you hit the motorway and see. I think the other night when I said you sounded muffled, it didn't dawn on me the gain control on that. If it's the same as mine, as you say, it's a variable resistor through a hole in the case. You've got to get in with a fine screwdriver and back off. It may not actually be muffled once the gain comes down. It's with the gain that's causing what sounds like a muffle. So fingers crossed that's what it is. But it sounds hotter than it should be. Backing it off the way forward, I think. There's obviously more in there somewhere, but that's fine. Yes, Steve, all copied on the serial injection. I didn't say if the first or second. I'm there in Labour as well tomorrow. Give me a second. See what Star Wars does. I was there's all sorts of
Right.
Star Wars characters.
Oh, there goes my fuel light.
Right. See where you're at for. Let's come back to this. So, with the pause. And 0, you're in the group. And 0, alright.
Yeah, Mike Zero, Whiskey November uniform, stroke mobile, returning to the group. Yeah, I'm actually on the A1 now, just heading down towards Leeming Bar just to see what the road noise is like if I'm travelling at 70 mile an hour. So I'm not sure how bad that is, or whether it's whether I'm unreadable, or whether I'm clear, or whether you can still just hear it just say in the background. So yeah, I'll have to have a look at that gain control on the side of it, obviously, because I'll obviously need to turn that down if it is a bit too much. So, if that's the impression I'm getting from reports anyway. So I haven't had a look at the playback of the SDR from last night yet. I've still got to do that, because by the time I got home and got things sorted, I didn't get the chance, and I would have done it today had the power not gone off, and I hadn't been working to fix the electrical issue with the relay, which I pulled out and found there was a diode in it which had gone short circuit and had started popping fuses as well, so I had to get rid of that pretty sharpish. So anyway, round to you, Steve, I believe. Next, M6 JNZ M0 WNU stroke M in the group.
Yeah, Mike, yeah, okay. Yeah, see that on that mate. Yeah, well, yeah, you can hear the road voice. It does sound like you sound the microphone, actually. But that's maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, it does sound like you're down a bit, but I'll let more expert population. I don't think you've got one in a minute. So I'll know it's the maximum. Oh, yeah, by the way, Max, my second one, rather narrow.
Yeah, cool, Steve. I'll copy on second one, so we're all in about the same boat. And you're quite right, I think. Paul, last night I mentioned it sounded like when you turn your head to the side, your clarity came up. And in that last over, there was a couple of bits where either you weren't projecting like an outside voice at the microphone, trying to push your voice into it, or you backed off just to a normal talking level. Again, the clarity really came up. The amount of work the microphone was doing fell into the sweet zone. So maybe try with an everyday talking voice. If you weren't already going to try with a slightly lower voice, and see that if that's it, then that would be the improvement. Together with a little adjustment, you can definitely tell you're doing 70 and not 30 settings of the microphone as it is where you're not thinking. So that tells me the gain's too high. But as Steve said, it could be that you just put in a bit too much emphasis in from the human side of things. So give it a try.
Normal talking
I
voice.
did an A/B test
Suggestion.
this morning on the net just to compare my hands-free and the mic that came with the rig. The best report I had back was that the one that came with the rig was a bit more soppy, had a bit more treble and punch in it. And another person said the one that came with the rig makes me sound like me as I do it in person. It actually met me face-to-face. And with that, chuck it round to you. You can try a few different variants and let us know what you're doing, and we'll tell you which one works best if that helps. M0WNU in the group. M0RIE.
Yeah, Mike Zero, Whiskey November, uniform stroke mobile, returning to the group. Right, I'm not sure if I can manage a normal talking voice, because I think I have to speak up a bit for the microphone to pick it up. I'm not 100% sure, but I think normal talking voice should work. I mean, like I'd be talking to someone who was sat in the passenger seat, for instance, although at the moment there's no one sat in the passenger seat. Yes, I've just actually come off the A1 now at the Leeming Bar turn, so I'm just going to go back up the other side of the A1 just to see how it fares. So, it means going under the bridge and back onto the A1 again. So, yeah, that's means I'm turning my head a bit, so that might have an effect as well. So, not sure what's going on there or not, because I'm going round a roundabout. Right, with that, I'll pass it back to Steve, M6 JNZ, M0WNU, stroke M in the group.
Yeah, there was a little bit of difference there, but I think you slow down and your voice sounded a bit more better.
Yeah, cheers, Steve. No, I think your ear's good. The gain on the microphone to my ear is too high. Steve said as you slowed down, the road noise backed away, but it was still there. So you can turn the gain down to the point where the road noise is low. And in fact, turning the gain down to the point where we hear your voice drop away in volume means we've found an edge. And once we've found a low edge, we can bring it up. Once it's clear, leave it at that until it's not loud enough. You've always got the option, and in fact you should probably set the gain in the radio back to normal before making that adjustment. But yeah, you've always got an option then of going into the gain in the radio and going up a step, or up 2 steps or down 2 steps. So I guess the quick option will be down 2 steps. But I'm always one for adjusting the gain nearest the microphone first. Whatever you can do to reduce the gain at the first stage means all subsequent amplification can be driven less and most likely more linearly.
Sounds interesting.
I'm sure you're familiar with all of that anyway. And if not, well, maybe you are now. Whatever. Assuming you've got the slip road and you've brought it back up to 17, let's see where we're at now. M0 WNU mobile in the group, M0 RIE.
Yeah, Mike 0, Whiskey November uniform, stroke mobile returning to the group. Yeah, brought it back up to 70. I'm going up the other side of the A1 now, back towards Catterick, so not sure what it's like at the moment. So obviously, I'm recording this on the SDR at home as well, so that I can get an idea of what's going on. So hopefully I'll have some idea and be able to compare things and get an idea. So, yeah. It's the one thing I was concerned about with this microphone was it picking up road noise or being too high on the gain. Obviously, I'd have to adjust the gain when I get home because, like I said, it's got a potentiometer through a hole which you have to turn with a screwdriver. So I can't obviously adjust it now, and I'd have to also to balance that with the settings on the FTM 400 as well. And the good thing is with my electrical repairs, I've actually took the relay out. The radio's staying working fine. So yes, I just took the relay out completely and just bypassed it and put a splice in there temporarily until I can get another relay. Or I could just leave it like that. It depends on how I feel leaving it like that. So anyway, back round to Steve there. M6JNZ M0WNU stroke M in the group.
Yeah, back 6 June November 0 return to the group. Yeah, I'm still the same there. Paul, I can't really make any comments there because I don't know a lot about it yet. So I've got to get one of those steps myself at some stage. But I'm not too sure when yet. But we'll have to see. So no doubt I'll be going through and doing what you're doing at the moment. Like this. Yeah, everyone's attention to it. See what's the best settings for it. Okay, I'll urge you back.
And 6 January in the group, M0 RIE. Yeah, I'll copy Steve, I'll copy Paul. I thought, while you're mobile, Paul, if you want to, you're more than welcome to swing by. I can bring the necessary tools out to make that adjustment on the gain on the VTT switch VR box. And at the same time, have a quick look and compare and contrast. It certainly sounds like bypassing the relay has done the trick. I don't even have mine in the relay. I've got it plugged into an accessory socket extension with an option of putting it onto a lighting phone, which I just tested today. I literally just unplug the accessory socket as an extension and plug it into a different extension that's connected to the battery. But if you wanted to swing by, well, you'd be more than welcome. We'll see what we can do with it. And you can have a closer look at what I've got in the bus by comparison to your setup. So if that's an option, just let me know. I'll go find the outdoor clothes and the indoor clothes. Alright, back to you. M0 WNU mobile in the group M0 RIE.
Yeah, Mike Zero Whiskey November uniform stroke mobile returning to the group. Yeah, all copied there, Mac. Yeah. If that's all right with you and it's not too much of an issue, yeah, I can swing round. I don't want to intrude though, but you know, if it's okay with you, then that's fine. I can swing round and you can have a look at it as well. My car's a bit of a mess, by the way, and I'll have to unclip the switch anyway because I've got the switch tucked down the side between the centre and the steering column, so it's kind of just tucked out of the way. So I'd have to remove it from in there first, so I can get to it. So anyway, if that's all right with you, Mac, I will swing round as long as it's not too much of a bother. So I'll pass it round to Steve next so he can have a go. M6JNZ M0WNU stroke M in the group.
Mike 6 June November Zulu returning. Yep. Okay, Paul. Sounds a good plan to attack that. Right, I'll have to make a move, gentlemen. I shall bid you both good night. Hope you get it sorted out, Paul. I'll catch you hopefully tomorrow night, Mac. If you listen to Dave, likewise with you. Okay, take care. See you later on.
M6 James in the group, that's 0RA return. Yeah, I'll copy, Paul. No problem at all. I've had my afternoon snooze, so I'm set for a few hours.
Right.
We'll just do it outside of social distance and such. So, I can't remember exactly what tools needed, but I'll bring some small drivers out. Hopefully I've got the right things to use the car. And I'll copy Steve that everybody's really better your end just improve the time. No adverse reactions to tomorrow's stabbings for anybody that's involved in that. And remember, may the force be with you.
Oh yes, May the 4th tomorrow. Star Wars Day, allegedly.
Yeah, Paul, just let us know as you get a bit nearer. I've got first part of outdoor clothing on, I'll get second part of outdoor clothing on and gather some pocket tools together and just come meet outside. M0WNU mobile, M0RE.
Yeah, Mike Zero Whiskey November uniform stroke mobile returning. Well, not the group anymore. So I think Steve says he's gone. 7-3 there, Steve, if you're still listening. Yeah, I'm just passing back through Colburn again now, Max. I can just swing down by your end of Richmond and then can have a look at this and see how we can best sort it out. So, yeah. So, as I say, I've just got the switch just tucked kind of on the side of where the stereo fits in. So I've just screwed it in, the mic clip into there and attached to there. So it's just tucked out of the way, so it can't be easily knocked by anything when I'm driving about. So I'll pass it around to you there, Mac.
Yeah, I'll copy, Paul. I was just putting the tool bag down. I've got it ready. Pocket tools, some jeweler's precision drivers, which have got nice fine heads of a variety of different shapes. So I think that does it. I think it's a slot from memory, but it is from memory.
From memory.
No worries about the mess. I've been tidying up in here since first lockdown, and it still looks like a bomb site.
Hey, Johnny.
Probably be tidied up more easily with a hand grenade, I think. I think I've got everything ready to come out. Just need to get my wheels on. So, as and when you get a bit nearer. Trying whether to bring an extension speaker out. I think the one in the car will do is I've got an external one. So you actually transmit on yours and listen to it on mine, and you'll be able to hear the difference. But I'm sure the extension that I've already got in will do. What was I going to say? I think it was. No. Hopefully the road works and other such stuff is quiet this time and actually coming through. Guessing you're approaching the lights at Hipswell by about now.
It's a good guess.
I could do with going to the loo before catching up. So problem with drinking so much cola and coffee and things. You sit here for a while, you're fine. The moment you stand up to go, gravity starts to say, no, it's that room you need to be in now. M0WNU mobile, M0RIE.
Yeah, Mike Zero, Whiskey November uniform stroke mobile returning. Yeah, you actually guessed right about where I was. So I've just gone through those lights now. So that was actually pretty good guesswork. So yeah, it's not too busy. Traffic's been on my side. No unforeseen incidents on the A1 either when I was driving down and back up again. So yeah, it's all good. So swing by and hopefully we can sort this out. get it working right, because I would like it to be working right, and I'm not the most expert in these things, we shall say. So right, I'll pass it right back around to you there, Mac, if you're still there. M0RIE, M0WNU stroke M in the group.
Oh, copy, Paul. I'll make this be temporary final, because I think I've got everything ready. I'll head to the loo on the way, and get out to the car, and I'll call you when I get to the car. So, a couple of minutes by the time I've done those two things, and I guess you won't be far from here by that point in time, so I guess if it's not a full 73, that makes it a 37 and a half. Hi. Catch you in a couple of minutes.
37 and a half.
M0RIE.
Yeah, all copied, Mac, no problem. I'll be listening for you. Mike Zero, Whiskey November uniform, stroke mobile, just back to standby for now. There's a fuel as well, so I'm going to have to be careful. Right, so I'll be going round to Max M0RIE's house to get this sorted out. So I'll stop the video for now and I'll catch you in a wee while. Okay, so not long since got back from Richmond, where Mac M0RIE lives, so he was able to help me out, and he was able to get the microphone set up in such a way where I'm now hopefully going to be able to utilise it better, because it needs to be pointing pretty much at my mouth. So as long as it's pointing in that rough general direction, or if not better, at my mouth, then that's fine, rather than me talking across it. As long as I talk in a normal tone of voice as well, we should be good. So I'm going to go back up in the house, and whilst I do that, I'm going to give a look at the SDR footage, which is some that I got from last night when I was working, and some from tonight when I was doing my little road test. Obviously I have to do more road tests, but I can't do them right now. So that's obviously going to be done another day, and I'll put them into a different video. So, well, that's if I remember to record them on the SDR, of course. I'll try and remember, but if I don't, I don't. But I'll have a go. Anyway, I'll go back in the house to sign off. But before I do that, I'll let you have a look at the SDR footage that I've got from the last 2 nights.
Mike Zero, Whiskey November uniform, stroke mobile, listening IR for any call. Mike Zero, Whiskey November uniform, stroke mobile, listening IR for any call. Mike Zero, Whiskey November uniform, stroke mobile.
Good evening, Paul. Carry on after me and hand it round to Mac, because we've not heard anybody else yet tonight. How are you doing? Obviously you're out working again, you're a busy lad.
Yeah, Mike Zero, Whiskey November uniform, stroke mobile, returning, yeah. There's a moving chance. I thought there'd be someone on, so I've actually put the hands-free mic back in the car, and just wondering how it's actually doing, to be honest. So, yeah, I thought I'd get that back in. It's not properly done yet. I mean, I'm going to have a proper look at how I'm going to get the wiring all sorted to it. But it is it is there, and I'm not sure how good of a job it's doing. Any reports would be greatly appreciated. I'll pass it round, I think it's round to Mac after this. M0RIE, M0WNU, stroke M in the group.
M0WNU mobile, M0I. Good evening, Paul. Good to catch you again. I did see you earlier. I think you came out of Dundas Street and went down Queen's Road, turned onto Victoria. I think I got the window down quickly enough to try and give you a wave, but anyway, I was on your left. I don't know where you've got that microphone and where it's pointing and whether it's the same one as I've got, but there is a noticeable difference between the two that you've used, and this one currently is sounding, I would say, slightly more muffled, but that could just be a case of pointing it and, as you say, getting it in where you want it to be. It's certainly working fine. It's readable. There's just a difference to my ear. But anyway, see what Dave thinks. Over to you, Dave, for a comment on such JYP and M0RIE.
G8YPN, yeah, it is a little bit muffled, but thankfully it is understandable, not like some mobiles you hear them come on and you can't understand the way. I shouldn't say that because mine could be absolutely awful, but I don't know. I've had that Ether light fit, I mean I've had it a long time. I mean it's just like a spring clip round, it's meant to go around your head, but I always put mine around my neck and face it up towards the mic and talk over the top of it. But it is getting a bit tatty now because he's been bent, twisted and all sorts of things in different directions. But it seems to work. I'm just I'm having a go at this calculator that average antenna output is 6.1 watts. Sensor peak is 76 watts, 18 dBW, and well, it's not that wide double, is it? And he's saying it's not vertical though. Oh, I see. I'm sorry, I'm reading to it. I shouldn't do that. Yeah, okay. And as I say, Paul, he seems quite all right to me. But it's just a little bit muffled, as you say. It could be just the fact it's where it's pointing. I mean, I've got one of those little ones more for me phone link, and that visor, and everyone said it seems to work all right. Because some often they sound like you got your head in a bucket, don't they? Anyway, round to your box, you know how to get near your destination. M0WNU G8YPN.
Yeah, Mike 0, Whiskey November, uniform, stroke mobile, returning, yeah. That's one of the barracks at the moment, waiting for the customer to turn up, so, yeah, I've slightly moved it, but I'm not sure whether that's improved anything or not, and I'm also stationary at the moment now, before I was moving, so, yeah, I'm taking a recording of this on my SDR at home, just to see if it's actually what it sounds like for myself, so that way I'll get an idea of what's actually going on. M0RIE, M0WNU, program.
Yeah, I'll copy that, Dave, from the spreadsheet. It takes a bit of planning and working through. I stuck with FM, and I did the collinear on the side of the house, and I also did an evaluation for 50 watts FM in the car, so I had a sheet to put in the car. Yeah, we have to do cars as well, I guess. There's not a lot of difference between when you're mobile and when you're stationary. I'm thinking about what I said, muffled is maybe... The other microphone is a bit brighter, has more top end, and your articulation is clearer. This one doesn't have as much top. The thing I found, if it's the same model as I've got, is it could do with a touch more gain on the FTM 400, but it needs to be pointed, because it's a condenser, needs to be pointed at your mouth, or wherever the voice is coming out. Well, obviously your mouth, but how do I explain? I think I know what you mean. I think you'll know what I mean. Anyway, yeah. Having it recorded on the SDR is probably a good thing, and you can listen to yourself and make a necessary adjustment. perfectly readable, not a problem at all. Rather than waffle on, I'll see how Dave's getting on with the calculator, and we'll go on from there somewhere. Back to you, Dave, Yaesu M0RIE.
G-A-Y-P, return, yeah. Well, Max really described it better than me, but it does sound a little bit muffled, but as he said, could be a little bit bassy. That's the only response I would say to it. It does sound a little bit like the old mics that we used. Well, we used to use them in helicopters. They used to have a top over the top, and they always used to sound a little bit like that. But not yours is nowhere near as bad as theirs. They were awful. You used to have to nearly swallow the mic to get any resonance out of it. If you so, it's one of those things. But it's acceptable to me anyway. It is. But it's not a bad idea for you to tape it at home, to record it at home. You can go home and listen to yourself. I always think that you can be picking faults in somebody's audio, and yours could be just as bad, but no one ever tells you. That's what I've always found. People, don't tell you what it could be. Excuse me. I'm trying to look at this. It's 14 megs. Yeah, it's alright. And it's I'm doing alright. I'll play with it a bit. As you say, I've got it saved twice now. It's twice in the actual download system, and it's one on my own files. So if I mess it up, I mess it up. That's one thing about it. It's like I don't have to get any Tipex out to alter the faults to you, Paul. WNUGAYPN.
Returning, just checking I'm not doubling. Nothing here. I think Paul's maybe got his customer, so... Dave, can I ask you the same thing? I just realised that I've got an MH31 on here, and it's got a switch on the back. This is I think it's in SSB position at the moment. I'll switch now. And I think that's now in FM mode. I'll switch back. So, default position there. Did you notice any difference? Yaesu M0RIE.
G-A-Y-P-N. Well, yeah, slightly. The first position is more you. The second position is a little bit toppy. And it'd be better for contest work. It's rather like this 9700 when Chris said you could change the filters, and I've noticed that if I change the filters, everything sounds more before, if you know what I mean. That sounds a bit daft, if you know what I mean. It sounds much clearer. It's more punchy in it than it did before. On receive even at mind transmit. So I would have said I'd stay on number one personally, because that's more you than the other one was. And you see Paul's back. The poor lad's having to work. Leave him a break if he's not there. Excuse me. M0WNU/M, because I keep forgetting GAYPN.
Yeah, Mike 0, Whiskey November, uniform stroke mobile, returning to the group. Yeah, I just had to call the customer to find out where he got to. He's on his way. So he hasn't arrived here yet. Yeah, I didn't quite catch any of your last over chat, because I had to turn the volume down, obviously, while I was on the phone. So, yeah, just a case of getting this microphone right, I think, really. How I'd adjust the gain to on the FTM 400 there, Max. You might have to explain that one to me. So I'll pass it round to you. Anyway there, Max. M0RIE, M0WNU/M in the group.
All copy, Paul, no problem. Mic gain on an FTM 400. Go to the menus, and go for TXRX, and then scroll down to audio, and within audio you'll find mic gain, and it's minimum, low, normal, high, max. So I've tried mine on high and max, it improves it, but I've dropped mine back down to high. So again, into the menus, TXRX, then audio, and then mic gain. Do you want to check you got that alright, Paul?
Yeah, 2 seconds, no customers here.
No problem, I can repeat it again later. Oh, Dave. Right, I was looking at both manuals and I hadn't quite got the 817 manual. Thanks for the comment on what sounds more like me. On the wish list, shopping list, I included the microphone. I switched out from the default microphone that came with the 991. The one on the 817 and the 991 are one and the same, the MH31. So this is the MH31, and the MH31 that I've got with my 991 has been in a box since I replaced it with the MH36, which has DTMF and a few other buttons on the front. But the mic capsule on the 36 suits my voice. I've been reported better on the reports I've had. Did an A-B comparison with the 31 and the 36, and I noticed that Mike's having a hell of a good price. I'll come back next time a bit more on those EMF counts, and maybe I could drop you an email about Collinear and car, and that might be useful. I don't know. Again, Zoom was a thought. With that to you, Dave, G8YPNM0RIE, and I'll look for the manual on the 817. Over to you.
G8YPN, yeah, well, we'll go through them on Zoom, so it might be worthwhile that sort of, we can, if we've got faults, one person can sort of tell you what you're doing wrong. I think I've done it right, but I presume you can't change the frequency. It just says 14.2. I've changed it to FM, and it didn't make a lot of difference, to tell you the truth. Although it did well, he says Ofcom complaints distance is 3.4 metres, vertical separation 5.2 metres, the horizontal separation is 0. The active near field zone is 3.4 metres, so I suppose everything should be 3.4 metres away, which I think I am, because the one up the tree's higher than that, the end of it. The one in the middle is more than that away from next door. That's the closest point, I would imagine. If you count the feed away, he comes down to the ground and runs along. It's a bit complicated, and it's too complicated for my brain this time. That's my excuse. I'm going to go with it and say it's my excuse. Thanks for the. It was my. You know, when I couldn't see before. I say I can see straight in front of me now. I must have gone straight past it before. Okay on that. The mics from thingy. Well, it's just I need the bang mount definitely. I presume you want your adapter back. So I want one of the adapters. I can't think of anything else. What else was I going to get from there? I'd have to go through the list again. I'm not going to buy that top band antenna. I'm going to not struggle, but I'm going to carry on with what I'm doing with this one. I just need to. I'll connect the earth strap up tomorrow. He can actually go back up in the corner. I'm going to lose. I've lost me bits because I've tied it up. I've lost me bits of wood that I was using to centre the pole. It goes up the middle. I have to do them again tomorrow. So I've probably thrown them out thinking they were wasted, and I've just realised what I want them for. That's how things go, innit? Right to you, Paul. M0WNU. The 8YPN in the group.
Yeah, Mike 0, Whiskey November uniform, set mobile, return. Set the mic gain up to high on the FTM 400, so I'm not sure whether that's made any difference. be honest. Apart from trying to reposition it a bit better, although I've got to be careful where I position it in case I accidentally hit my head off it, which I don't really want to be doing. So, not sure how that's sounding, but pass it down to Mac, M0IE, M0WNU, Circ M in the grid.
Yeah, all copied, Paul. Definitely tell you've changed the mic gain. I thought you put it at max actually, but no, if that's at high, I guess on the next over I'm going to ask you to explain where it is. Is it connected to or mounted at the sun visor point? And probably more importantly, when you just said you're going to hit your head on it, I know I struggle getting it out of mind with the way mine is, but the actual end of the microphone that you're speaking into, it wants to be like somebody's finger pointing right at your teeth, is the best I would say. Maybe you can explain where it is. There's certainly a bit more power there than's needed, but when you had it on normal, I think there was a bit less power than there was needed, so it's between the two, and obviously there isn't that setting, so you're going to have to pick one, but you'll be able to listen to the SDR recording you've got. Right, Dave, on the spreadsheet, all the yellow boxes, the proper yellow boxes, apart from two that are in dB, are the ones to twiddle with. So where you set your band is the first setting, then you transmit mode, FM, you transmit power, and you transmit percentage over 6 minutes, then cable type and length, then aerial and height. Ignore the two other boxes that are marked in yellow that are metered in dBs, and it's the Ofcom compliance distance, which 3.4 meters sounds right. So hopefully that makes sense. On the shopping list, I actually included 100 grams of leaded solder. Wrong keyboard, wrong mouse, wrong everything. Yeah, there was that I threw in, but thought you might be interested in possibly getting some leaded solder. The MH36, I think they're normally about 50 quid and they're up at 18, and there was some headphones in there for a tenner, and some other ones at £2.50, and a dummy load, but if you've got yours working, yeah. Oh. If it doesn't, I'll let you complain and I'll try and explain a bit better next time round. So with that to you, Dave, G8YP and M0IE.
YPN return to the group, yeah. Yeah, that made sense, yeah. Well, I saw the solder, which I must admit I intended to mark things on the shopping list that I wanted as well, and I haven't. Earphones, quite a good idea, definitely. I mean, the ones I've got, I mean, they were really cheap and nasty. I mean, they're even pink, so they're not really the right colour either. But they work, but they're not as good as they could be. The ones out of the hall up there because they're not getting. But again, I haven't been up there. Well, I have been up there. I went up to Athels and Palms the other day, but I didn't stop and drop some stuff off for them because he's got Parkinson, so she's struggling a little bit with him. He won't give up farming. He's like lots of them. They think if they stop, that's it. End of story, isn't it? He doesn't need to worry about money anymore. He's still got to make it, if you know what I mean. I was just going to say, yeah, okay on the shopping, yeah, so I've done that bit. Alright, I've come back off that actually because I was looking at some emails. Got an email come through from somewhere else. I'm just checking it to do with what we were discussing outside the door this afternoon before you left. But I'll sort that out. I say I'm going to have a trip down to Cheshire before very long. I can't remember if it's the 17th of this month when the hotel's open, but it's something like that, isn't it? Excuse me, and I'll have to book myself in somewhere. The trouble is, when you get there, you can't go out or do anything, can you? Because I'm not sure if you can go to restaurants. And it's a bit boring just wandering around the town on your own. Excuse me, once the official things have all been and done, I just think I've got hiccups. I don't know why. Sorry. Like I'm from doing it. Sounds awful on air, but it does. doesn't make much better when you're trying to stop yourself. Round to you, Paul, while I have a drink. M0WNU G8YPN.
M0I, returning, checking, I'm not doubling. Nothing heard. Either Paul's negotiating roadwork, traffic and otherwise, or he's got somewhere to leave a space for him to come back in a bit late. One last thing on the shopping list I forgot. At the very bottom of shopping list 2 was a quick release. I've got one which is actually now attached to an aerial for the 817 portable. I might give myself another one just so I've got one for testing stuff in the lab here. And Dave, yeah, I'll copy it on extra phone call for what we were talking about before. I don't know what state of lockdown is for, I guess if the restaurants are anything like the one in Dundas Street where they're open air, if the weather's fine. But yeah, you can only walk around the town so much and shop so much before you... Is there an opportunity to take a mobile HF station? Yeah, just trying to think. I don't know. Dear. I didn't have anything else to add to all of that, I don't think. No, I'll chuck it round to you, Dave, and leave a pause if Paul's back with us. G8YPN in the group, M0RIE.
G8YPN, I take it for. He's still negotiating whatever. You were talking there. Yeah, I mean, I can't even, well, theoretically, I suppose I can go and see the solicitors. But anyway, that's a different matter. I won't go into that problem. I've just got a set of power poles, you know what I mean. I've just actually put a hammer to them, and they still won't couple up. So there you go. When looking at them, it looks as if the slots have not been made properly in them. And if they won't connect to each other and they're the same make, you've got no chance of putting them into something else. The actual metal coupling inside, where it's meant to click onto itself, is not clicking on, if you know what I mean. And I can't see putting down the I'll get a screwdriver in a minute. Screwdriver and a big torch and have a good look there, feel around with the screwdriver. You know what I mean. Something sort of beam. I mean, I'd wait and go into his shop, but I don't think that's all. I'll have a look tomorrow and order some tomorrow. It's going to be better to get his than order from somewhere else. Now, I suppose I could go up to a CEF and get some, but I've had to use them in the past, but I'm not a lover of them. I don't like the way they change the prices on things, and if the manager doesn't like it, you don't get the same. Maybe I shouldn't air that on here, but it's the way I found it. He's favouring certain contractors, shall we say. See if Paul's managed to get his next load on, or if he's not with us, whatever. And I'll go and get a screwdriver and a hammer. I'll make these things work through it. There'll be bits all over my desk next. Round to you, Paul. M0WNU stroke MG8YPN.
Yeah, Mike 0, Whiskey November uniform, set mobile, returning back to the group. Yeah, I didn't copy most of that now, she was in the shop getting the next one. Yeah, Mac, I've fastened the microphone up to the sun visor, so it's in a decent position where it can. Because when I originally had it in this car, it was above the control unit of the 400, and therefore it was just picking up all And Mac M0, IIE M0WNU, stress M in the group.
M0WNU mobile, M0RIE, all copied, Paul. Copied on it being mounted to the sun visor. Do you know what? There was a point in that over. You right or looked away from the microphone and you became a lot clearer. It's only a guess from what I heard. But I think the next question is, the end of the microphone to your mouth, what sort of distance are we talking there? I think you could be a bit close. I think that could be the thing. When I run mine down from the sun visor, I kind of run it, if you're looking out the window, you've got your A-pillar, I run it so that it's not in line of sight of the front window or the side window, and it runs down the A-pillar. Obviously the car I've got a different shape and size than yours, and I can't get it any much closer than, 9 or 10 inches. So it's a distance away, but being a condenser, which I'm pretty sure it is, it doesn't need to be. You're better to be close up on it, but I think it could be too close perhaps. Just a guess, just from what I'm hearing. Hopefully that's useful. Dave on the power pole connectors and shops and such. No, I hadn't noticed on the shops. Talk to me a bit more about that when we see each other. And all copied on the hammer. I suggest you're not using a big enough hammer. If in doubt, give it a bigger clout. That spring that's in there, the metal that's actually in there, is a spring to push against the metal piece that you crimp. So it pushes against the other metal piece that you crimp. So it in itself isn't something that makes the connection. It's wires to make the connection as best as I can mechanically see what it's doing. And I never had to poke around with anything. Just it was getting them in once you'd crimp the wire ends on the wires. But before that, they were flying up like rats at drain pipes. So yeah, bigger hammer. GAYPN M0RIE.
GAYPN. Return you. Well, I've actually got two to connect together, but I've had to run a screwdriver down the side of it. So I honestly... Shall we go for that explanation? Because we've withstood the hammer treatment, but now I've actually run a screwdriver down, and it looks like the two pieces of steel or spring metal that's inside that your thing goes up against to make the connection are hitting each other straight on. A different position. If you shove one of the other things, I can have a go at that, but I don't see how that works, because that goes, the actual piece goes up by the side of it, doesn't it? And then you look at the ones that solder beams have made. Anyway, that's another problem for another time. I tend to agree with Mac there, but I would have said you were a little bit close, personally, as well, to the mic there, Paul. But you're gonna... it's one of those things. Sometimes you find it's the mic that's not suitable. The actual mic settings itself need sorting. I think I managed to get away with it on these two rigs I've got, although no one said anything. I have changed the deviation and things on them ever so slightly, simply because it was over deviating when I first opened it up for the box. The box didn't like it at all, so I've gone by that for the time being. Anyway, see how far you're getting along with your delivery there, Paul. M0WNU stroke M GAYPN.
Yeah, Mike, the Whiskey November uniform, Strap Mobile returning. I've just moved the microphone a little bit up. Just pushed it up a little. Kind of just similar position to where I had it, but it's just a little higher now. With me having a small car, it is a wee bit on the difficult side, but I can get it there. So it's just a case of finding the right spot, I think. That's all, because obviously much easier for me to drive with that than it is with a hand mic.
And return, checking doubling. Nothing heard. That was better, Paul. I've got to be honest. Further away seems to be the trick. And getting it at a distance and pointing straight at your teeth is probably the way to have a go with it and listen to it on the SDR as well. But that sounded better to me. Dave, I dug out my power poles from certain beams that I haven't put anything in and slid two together. I've got them paired up as blacks and reds because it was just easier than rattling around. I've got them all slid together as a brick, but with no ends in, they fly in and are loose. And it just makes me wonder, the spring steel inside the clips that you've got, if you were to make up a couple of ends, actually put the, crimp on the wires that you want and get them pushed in the poles, whether pushing the ends in will get that spring steel located properly, some absolutely solid clips. If it doesn't, you've wasted 4 centimetres of wire trying and the time taken to have a go at it. So, G8YPN M0RE.
G8YPN, press the button, it's better if it works that way. Speaking to myself then, at least. I haven't done what I did the other night. Pick the other mic up, having 2 desk mics. I should put a sticker on, shouldn't I? HF and VHF. Talking into the wrong mic at one stage. Okay, well, it might be worthwhile. But I've actually run a screwdriver down the side. I think it's not only the metal that's not there, they actually haven't formed the plastic slot at the side. And when I look at the ones on Salter Beam, you can actually see the slot quite clearly. Where on these ones, I'll shut them over there so way out of the way, is not as easily seen. But now the one I've run a screwdriver down, you can actually see quite easily. So obviously it's bad mate. They're obviously a cheap copy, aren't they? They're not the real thing or whatever you want to call it. So it's going to go that way. How is it? It's 8:30. Doing well tonight. Okay on that. I won't go on about what you said. I'll probably have a little go tomorrow. I must admit, actually running a wire, making a slight hole in the end of the box, so I could actually use all 4 outlets inside by soldering which I'm sure I've got in my little box of tricks. But maybe that's not the way to do it. But that's what I was thinking of doing. Then I could actually, as I had it apart, screw it to the wall. But the next job is I want to notify myself where I want to put it first, because I need these aerial switches moving around and things like that, putting into better locations. So there's plenty to keep me occupied, as you say. But that would be a lot easier to use. I mean, I know it's meant for mobile work, but it'll be a lot easier to put on the wall and just plug rigs in and not have cables running everywhere. There's quite a lump of cable behind these 2 rigs coiled up, which is one of the things I've always thought was. I know why they do it, because they're mobile rigs, but they seem to put a lot of cable on them for that reason. I suppose so you're running it out to the battery in the power. But it still wouldn't reach on my car. So there. Anyway, see how Paul's getting along there. And as Max said there, your best bet is when you get home and see. But it was better at that point, a little bit better. Just maybe a touch more away from you, and you've got it covered. You'll have to sit in the back seat. That's the answer, Paul. M0WNU/MG.
Guessing Paul's still busy with driving a customer. I know Soda Beams make a more expensive one with fuses built in, but it's like 56 quid. I'm just watching the battery on this. It's down to 7.1 volts, so if I disappear, I'll be trying to find a different battery to come back. Yeah, I didn't realise you were going to do it as a shack power distribution unit. So, yeah, the grommet action is an idea. I know the power poles themselves are soldered to the PCB. Pretty sure you can get a red and a black in there with the grommet, and if you use the fuse, yeah, batteries at the end of life here.
Roger, GAYPN. Just checking to anyone else there. GAYPN, yeah, off for a minute or two. Okay, back. Find yourself another battery. Well, I didn't know what to do. I mean, I know I was going to put them on the side of my unit that I've got in the car, my battery pack that I've made up for the car, and then I could actually couple one battery to the next battery, if you know what I mean, so I could actually take two lots with me. But then I thought they would look neat and tidy if I run the cables behind this motherboard that I've got here, come out into that, and then I could just plug the rigs in as and where necessary. Whether that's a necessity, I'm not made my mind up yet. It's 6 and 2 threes, because I just want to tidy this corner up, because when I keep looking at it, I know the rigs are covering up, but there's miles of cables there that go all going in different directions that don't need to, that not need, that length that's not needed. But I might, as you say, I might alter the power supply and shut it down, lower down on the floor, towards the floor. And then I'm very tempted, I don't know what to do with this, but I think the speaker's in the right place, it's sort of level with my head. I know it's up a bit, but it's level with my head if I sit upright. So it's one of those things, as you said, I should have, you should plan things properly, and that's my problem. I do plan things, but I keep changing as I go along. Paul's there anyway. Well, you're finding a battery mask. M0WNU stroke MG8YPN.
Yeah, Mike 0, Whiskey November uniform, Threat Mobile returning, yeah. So, what's out there? What happened was the radio just inexplicably died. It's working now, I don't know what that was, because I have it switched via a relay behind the dash, so that it only comes on when I wonder if that's work loose or something. I'll have to check that. I'm not really sure what happened there. And I'm only running it at low power, because I'm close to the repeater anyway. There's no point running it at full power at all. I'm going through Richmond, so I wasn't expecting that. Something else to fix, I think. Saying before, I've moved the microphone.
It was gone.
Dropped out again. He's obviously got, I think I've got a loose connection in my car too, he's doing that.
I had a poor cigarette or accessory socket in the Cougar. Didn't like running the FTM 400, but the extension I've got in the Shogun now is perfectly fine. On high power for a protracted period of time, and nothing's warmed up, whereas in the Cougar, the connection was heating the end of the connector and passing that much heat up that the cable started to get warm. And the warmth was coming from the tip of the accessory. I knew that. I managed to switch it back actually and found one randomly that had voltage in it, which was impressive. Another helicopter flight battery for the thrown towards ham radio. Lost my train of thought of what I was going to say with regard to what you were saying about. Oh yes, well I've said before about sorting out computer data. Then live with it and realise that the plan was wrong, but you don't know until you've lived with it for a bit. Speaker at head height is a good thing. I still maintain power at the floor. The only downside with this four-way from Total, lose a fuse, everything's gone. Whereas if it's separately fused, you lose what's fused. Depending on how you... Well, we know why they put the fuses. They put the long leads on for a mobile installation and they won't reach. And they put the fuses at the battery end because that's where you should have them. And then when you want to shorten the cables, all of a sudden you've got no fuses left. So that's why I cut my cable the way I cut it. But mine was for portable use rather than in shack here. I just spit it all into the long cables on the power supply with ring connectors, and any voltage drop is negligible by the time you've poked a bit more mains at it, so to speak. Anyway, yeah, I'll leave it at that. And chuck it round to you, Dave, and see if Paul's giving his car another kick. G8YPN M0RE.
G8YPN return, yeah. He's obviously, maybe the relay dropping out that he mentioned. It's one of those things, anyway. I think, well, I know there's a fault on mine because it cut out on me the other day, but it's working perfectly alright now, so I'm going to have to whittle the wires, but I actually think it's the fuse connection on it, and I keep meaning, because it's the tube type, I keep meaning to change it for the spade type. I've got a couple somewhere, and change the connection over on that to the spade type. So it's, because they're a bit more robust and they're easy to change anyway. I've got packs of spades all over the place, whether the circular ones or tube ones that you were looking for yours that popped that didn't have one. I always find they're a little bit iffy at times if they get a bit of rough use. But that's how that rig came, and that's an Icon 2725. It's the dual band FM only rig. I mean, I've had that a long time ago. I mean, I bought that at Hammerfest. Cool, that was a long time ago. When I went down with Ray. So, there you go. That's a long time ago. G3 EKL, that is. And his neighbour, Bill. YYQ? No, it wasn't YYQ. YCC, something like that. I can't remember the G6 anyway. And we were having one of us was going down, which we may as well all go together, so we did. That's quite a good day out, really. And it was easy to find Ray because he'd gone and parked himself on the raw signal stand, so it was easy to find in the day. But yeah, and I got it. It was on an offer online, and that's why I got it. I think it must be 2004. I got it. So there. Yeah, it was. It was when I first retired. I got that. I treated myself with the retirement out of me in 2004, and the microphone. 79, somewhere around there, just after I was licensed anyway. How to you, Paul, after me going through ages of history there. M0WNU stroke MG 8YPN, see if you keep the rig.
Yeah, Mike 0, Whiskey November uniform, stroke mobile, returning here. I think I've got a problem with the relay. The rig that switches it on and off when I turn the ignition key. So I'm going to have to call it there. So 7-3 to both of you, and I'll try and get that fixed tomorrow. Thanks for the report on the microphone, much appreciated. 7-3 for now. The both of you. From Mike 0, Whiskey November uniform, stroke mobile.
No worries, Paul. Good to catch you on tonight. Nice to have a natter with you. On the SDR lets you know what to do, and you can also get that relay looked at. Big hammer, and if not, a big hammer. All the best. 7-3 for now. Back to you. Over to you, Dave.
G8YPN, yeah, 7-3 Paul, nice to hear. Nice to have a quick natter. That's how you're going to be. It sounds like you're working, and we'll be popping on most evenings if we can. Nothing else to do. I'm still messing with antennas. I haven't got HF doing it. Anyway, round to you, Mac, if you're over. 73's Paul. Catch you tomorrow night if you've got it fixed. G8YPN, bye.
JNZ. November uniform, stroke mobile. JNZ.
God, there's a pile up now. Good evening, you two, Paul and Steve. Yeah, well, I'm sorry I'm not stopping much longer. But hand it round to Paul if you want to. Then hand it round to Steve and Steve to Mac. And I'll listen to one round, but I'm sorry I can't stop out here much longer. Round to you, Paul. M0WNU G8YPN.
Yeah, Mike 0, Whiskey November uniform, straight mobile. Yeah. Hello everybody. I'm just taking the car out for a quick spin just to make sure my work to repair the power supply to the radio is actually holding up, as well as check the microphones and make sure it's not picking up too much road noise. So probably just gonna run it down the A1 and back up again. So that sounds like a plan, just to see if it picks up any road noise. So just going through Catterick at the moment. Yeah, I'll pass it round to Steve then. M6JNZ M0WNU, stroke M in the group.
Mike 6, Unit November 0. Yep, good evening everybody. So I've not been on the past couple of days, not been too super I'm afraid. But feeling a little bit better now, glad to say. Yeah, good evening Paul. Good evening Dave. Good evening Mac. Sorry, ain't feeling so good, Dave. God, you ain't got what I bloody got, or had. Okay then, pass over to you, Mac.
M6 JNZ in the group, M0RE, certainly. Good evening, Paul. All copied on your relay repair there and a road test. You can hear a little bit of road noise, and I don't know if you heard my previous over to Dave there. I did an AB mic test this morning on the 11 AM net, and there is a difference between the hands-free and the mic that comes with the 400 radio. And it reminded me there's a gain control on the hands-free mic that you might want to turn down a touch, as well as the gain control that we found within the radio. But the gain control on the microphone itself is variable, as opposed to stepped in 5 stages as it is inside the radio's menu system. So hopefully that helps, and maybe you'll let us know on the next round how you heard things on the SDR the other night. But certainly the radio is transmitting 100% that time round. Good evening, Steve. Good to hear you. I understand you've come off the phone now. I hope you're feeling a lot better. Sorry to make light of it, but you've got to live on the funny side of some of these things sometimes, right? And with that, I'll say 7-3, Dave. Pass it round to you to make your finals or whatever, and hope you're feeling better after you've done whatever you decide to do this evening to find some relief from ankle, leg and etc. G8YPN and the group M0RE.
G8YPN returning the group. I'm sorry I'm going, but really good night tonight. As for Paul, yeah, there's a little bit of road noise as Mike says, but I think if you turn the actual gain control down on the mic itself, you would clear that actually. It wouldn't just say picking you up in the background, it does sound like he's peaking a little bit when he's speaking into it, but that's probably the position it is. But I would say I must admit, I backed my mobile mic, I ended up backing off when I first put it in, so I think they're all the same. It's probably a bit over punchy. Anyway, round to you, Paul. I'll listen to the end of the round. I'm going. Sorry, it just ain't working tonight. Round to you, Paul. M0WNU in the stroke mobile in the group G8YPN.
Yeah, Mike 0, Whiskey November uniform, stroke mobile returning. Yeah, all copied everyone, yeah. I haven't brought to have a look at the gain control actually on the mic itself. Just means that I've taken the control box out. Just got over a bump there. Just take the control box out of the where I've got the microphone, just so I can actually turn the potentiometer with a screwdriver, because it's one of those types. It's not actually knob on the outside of the control box, which is a bit of a pain. So yeah, just like I said, I'm just going through Catterick at the moment. I'm just interested to see how bad the road noise is going to be with, say, at motorway speed, which is why I'm just going to go down and back up the A1 just to see how that's going to fare. So anyway, if you're going now, Dave, I wish you 7-3 and catch you the next time. And with that, I'll pass it round to Steve.
M6JNZ, M0W, and you struck M in the group.
Yeah, Mike 6 November Zulu return to the group. Yep. Yep. It sounds okay, Paul, but you can hear the rumble in the background a bit. Yeah, I think just turn it down slightly, you'll be all right. As I said, I'm no expert, but yeah, you can hear what you're saying, so that's one of the main things. I haven't got a lot to add, I'm afraid. Haven't been on as such. Yeah, the throne. Come. And God, we got two in this house, that's all I can say. Yeah, anyway, I do feel a bit better. Going from a jab tomorrow, which I'm not really looking forward to, but hey ho. It's at 1:30 and Julie's got hers at 20 to 2. But the trouble is, she's having hers in Leyburn and I'm on mine in Darlington. And my daughter having hers on Wednesday in the hospital. So just hope there's no great big side effects to it all. I swear the right Monty else, I must admit. Okay, back over to you then, Mac.
M6 JNZ in the group, M0RE, copy Paul, copy Steve, 7-3 days. Paul, I'll hold on a bit longer until you hit the motorway and see. I think the other night when I said you sounded muffled, it didn't dawn on me the gain control on that. If it's the same as mine, as you say, it's a variable resistor through a hole in the case. You've got to get in with a fine screwdriver and back off. It may not actually be muffled once the gain comes down. It's with the gain that's causing what sounds like muffled. So fingers crossed that's what it is. But it sounds hotter than it should be. For backing it off the way forward, I think there's an oxymoron in there somewhere, but never mind. Yeah, Steve, all copied on the serial injections. He didn't say if they're first or second. I'm pretty much sure from memory the second, but I could be wrong. I'm there in Leyburn as well tomorrow for me second. Something to do on Star Wars Day. Youngest and I were in Tesco's yesterday, and there's all sorts of dressed up Star Wars characters on the exits. You're 2 days early. Really, why not be outside in the sunshine rather than stuffed up with all these? But anyway, moan and belligerent speak. Right, we'll see where you're at, Paul, unless Dave's come back with anything. So, with a pause, M0WN, you in the group? M0RE.
Yeah, Mike 0, Whiskey November uniform, stroke mobile, returning to the group. Yeah, I'm actually on the A1 now, just heading down towards Leeming Bar just to see what the road noise is like when I'm travelling at 70 mile an hour. So I'm not sure how bad that is, or whether it's unreadable, or whether I'm clear, or whether you can still just hear it just say in the background. So yeah, let's have a look at that gain control on the side of it, obviously, because I'll need to turn that down if it is a bit too much. That's the impression I'm getting from reports anyway. So I haven't had a look at the playback of the SDR from last night yet. I've still got to do that. Because by the time I got home and got things sorted, I didn't get the chance, and I would have done it today had the power not gone off. And I hadn't been working to fix the electrical issue with the relay, which I fell down and found there was a diode in it which gone short circuit, and it started popping fuses as well. So I had to get rid of that pretty sharpish. So anyway, on to you, Steve, I believe. Next M6 JNZ, M0W, and you struck M in the group.
Yeah, Mike 6 November Zulu returning. Yep, alright Dave. Yep, see you later on, mate. Take care. 73 to you, mate. Yes, Paul. Yeah, you can hear the road noise. It does sound like you're shouting in the microphone, actually. But that's just me. Maybe you're not, I don't know. But yeah, it does sound like it needs to be turned down a bit, but I'll let more expert people that use them, because I don't use that one at the minute. So I'll hand it over to Mac. Over. Oh yeah, by the way, Mac, it's my the second one we're having now, over.
Yeah, cool, Steve. All copied on second one, so we're all in about the same boat. And you're quite right, I think. Paul, last night I mentioned it sounded like when you turned your head to the side, your clarity came up. And in that last over, there was a couple of bits where either you weren't projecting like an outside voice at the microphone and trying to push your voice into it, or you backed off just to a normal talking level. And again, the clarity really came up. The amount of work the microphone was doing fell into the sweet zone. So maybe try with an everyday talking voice. If you weren't already, then just try it with a slightly lower voice and see. But if that's it, then that would be the improvement. Together with a little adjustment, you can definitely tell you're doing 70 and not 30 with the setting of the microphone as it is where you're not speaking. So that tells me the gain's too high. But as Steve says, it could be that you just put in a bit too much emphasis in from the human side of things. So give it a try. As I say, I did an A/B test myself this morning on the net just to compare my hands-free and the mic that came with the rig. And the best report I had back was that the one that came with the rig was a bit more toppy, had a bit more treble and punch in it. And another person said actually that the one that came with the rig made me sound like me as I do in person. Somebody who'd actually met me face to face. And with that, chuck it round to you. You can try a few different variants and let us know what you're doing, and we'll tell you which one works best if that helps. Excuse me, Win. M0WNU in the group, M0RIE.
Yeah, Mike 0, Whiskey November, Uniform Strap Mobile, returning to the group. Right, I'm not sure if I can manage to normal talking voice, because I think I have to speak up a bit for the microphone to pick it up. I'm not 100% sure, but the normal talking voice should work. I mean, like I'd be talking to someone who was sat in the passenger seat, for instance, although at the moment there's no one sat in the passenger seat. Okay. Yeah, so I've just actually come off the A1 now at the leaving bar turn, so I'm just going to go back up the other side of the A1 just to see how it fares. So, means going up under the bridge and back onto the A1 again, so yeah, that means I'm turning my head a bit, so that might have an effect as well. So, not sure what's going on there or not, because I'm going round a roundabout. Right, with that, I'll pass it back to Steve, M6 JNZ, M0WNU, Stockholm, in the group.
Yeah, Mike 6, Juliet November Zulu, returning to the group. Yeah, there was a little bit of difference there, but I think because you slowed down and your voice sounded a bit more better. But you can still hear the road, so to speak. Anyway, I'll pass on to Mac because he'll have a better ear for that than I have, I think. Over.
Yeah, cheers, Steve. No, I think your ear's good. The gain on the microphone to my ear is too high. Steve said as you slowed down, the road noise backed away, but it was still there. So you could turn the gain down to the point where the road noise is low. And in fact, turning the gain down to the point where we hear your voice drop away in volume means we've found an edge. And once we've found a low edge, we can bring it up. And once it's clear, leave it at that until it's not loud enough. You've always got the option. And in fact, you should probably set the gain in the radio back to normal before making that adjustment. So yeah, you've always got an option then of going into the gain in the radio and going up a step, or up 2 steps, or down 2 steps. So I guess the quick option would be down 2 steps. But I'm always one for adjusting the gain nearest the microphone first. Whatever you can do to reduce the gain at the first stage means all subsequent amplification can be driven less and most likely more linearly. So I'm sure you're familiar with all of that anyway. And if not, well, maybe I know. Whatever. Assuming you've got the slip road and you've brought it back up to 70, let's see where we're at now. M0 WNU mobile in the group, M0RIE.
Yeah, Mike 0, Whiskey November, Uniform Strap Mobile, returning to the group. Yeah, brought it back up to 70 and going up the other side of the A1 now, back towards Catricks. Not sure what it's like at the moment. Obviously, I'm recording this on the SDR at home as well, so I can get an idea of what's going on. So, So hopefully I'll have some idea and be able to compare things and get an idea. So, yeah. If the one thing I was concerned about with this microphone was it picking up road noise or being too high on the gain. Obviously I'd have to adjust the gain when I get home, because like I said, it's got a potential to screw a hole which you have to turn with a screwdriver, so I can't obviously adjust it now. I'd have to also balance that with the settings on the FTM 400 as well. And the good thing is with my electrical repairs, I've actually took the relay out. The radio's staying working fine. So yes, I just took the relay out completely and just bypassed it and put a slice in there temporarily until I can get another relay. Or I could just leave it like that. It depends on how I feel leaving it like that. So anyway, back around to Steve. M6 Jan M0W, and you stroke M in the group.
Yeah, Mike 6, Julie November Zulu, return to the group.
Yep.
Still the same there, Paul. So I can't really make any comments there because I don't know a lot about it yet. Yeah, I'm going to get one of those sets myself at some stage, but I'm not too sure when yet. But we'll have to see. So no doubt I'll be going through doing what you're doing at the moment and trying to get everyone's attention to it.
Okay, so I'm back in the warm now, because it's probably better being in the warm than being sat out in the car, even though I do have a heater in the car. So I've had to listen back to some of the audio, and it indeed did sound a wee bit muffled. So yeah, hopefully the changes made with help from Mac tonight will have done the job, and hope I'll try and get that on recorded and put up on the channel in another video. So we'll just see what happens from there. So I'm just hoping it's all working tickety-boo now, and that would be very nice. So I'll need to do another road test, but that won't be today because petrol don't have any. Right, and so yeah, right. So I did say in the last video I was hoping to make a bit of a big announcement. Well, it's not that big really. I've started a Patreon for this channel, so basically, if you want to chip in a little bit towards the channel, be a official patron of the channel, then that's up to you if you want to. You don't have to be. I mean, that's entirely your choice. I'm not here to say you must do that. You don't have to do it if you don't want to do it. It's your call at the end of the day if you want to be a patron of the channel. So any money made through that will go back into making this channel better, so it'll allow me to buy in new equipment for recording and also new radios for me to look at, so, and also review on the channel. So there you go, and help make this channel bigger and better. So if you like my content, then and you feel that it's worthy of a couple of pounds or whatever your local currency may be, then yeah, feel free to chip in something. Like I say, it's completely optional. You don't have to do that. So anyway, until the next one, this is Paul, Mike 0, Whiskey November uniform, or 26 Charlie Tango 730 if you catch me in 11 metres and PMR 446. So 73 for now, and I'll catch you in the next video.